We'll see. I was going to say this might be one of the last shows. It actually might be, but I don't want to lie to you and people be like, "Well, Femi, you totally said it was going to be one of the last shows." Well, whatever. Anyway, take it away, D.
What's going on, everybody? This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. If not, you have to get flying flock out. Back to you, Fumidoro.
That's the way. Thank you very much, D. So welcome, folks. I'm gonna switch to the live chat here. So for nobody in the chat, which is fine, I guess, honestly. I was thinking about canceling the show, honestly. I was like, I just don't have anything to say, which is basically true. I don't really have anything to say. But oh, Bud Kilowatts in the chat. Bud Kilowatt's a good, positive person. But I thought, oh, other people might have other takes on the situation at hand and so forth. Maybe it's not all doom and gloom. So perhaps it's worth doing a show, I thought. It is worth saying, just in case, folks, I would recommend that you do subscribe to Dee's channel because I'm not 100% sure that I want to keep doing any shows, honestly, but especially the Saturday show. That's potentially one that I'm just going to bag. So I would very much like it if you guys would follow Dee's channel. Dee, what's your, he's talking off camera here for just a second, but he'll be back. I think it's D zombie underscore 745, or did I get that wrong?
Yep, that's right.
Right on.
745. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would recommend you subscribe because if you like these kind of conversational shows where everybody's welcome on there, I would recommend that you honestly hurry up and subscribe because I don't know that I'll be doing these very much anymore. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm trying to make a decision. I was supposed to buy a house today, but I am reconsidering. So we'll see. Uh, Tough to say, honestly, what I'm going to decide to do. And that kind of is going to be wrapped up in whether or not I'm going to keep growing and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of pointless to keep growing the way I'm growing, the where place up I am. It's just it's kind of it's ridiculous, honestly. I've said before that growers are like time travelers in a weird way, where we have some of the worst skills of a Time Lord, I guess, if you were to follow the Doctor Who universe. Wouldn't it be nice to have a TARDIS that would solve a lot of problems, IPM among them? Uh, can you imagine you just go back to, oh shit, I have spider mites? Take the TARDIS back to the original problem and then kill the spider mites, the first spider mite when they first came into the garden or something. That'd be amazing. But no, what we are is the worst version of Time Lords, whereby we have to basically focus on the future and the past and everything else without ever being able to really master it, right? So we have to, for example, when we want to, for example, breeding or even just growing, honestly, even just to simplify the story, if you were to grow something, okay, 4 months from now, or however many months from now. Well, I guess that's the question first. How many months from now do you need weed? And you think, okay, 4 months from now, I need wheat. All right, so you have time to grow from seed. You also have time to grow from clones. You'll have time to veg them up. Blah blah blah. You can actually grow it like a normal cycle. And if worst came to worst, you could actually still plant them from seed, right? Well, if you only had 2 months, oh shit, you better basically get like teenage clones. Essentially, you get basically like big clones that don't need any vegging. Hopefully, they have a big enough root ball. Probably just basically keep it in rock wool so that you can just basically keep that root ball small and launch it into flower, right? You're still in a time machine basically because you have to think 2 months ahead of time. Well, as a breeder, you have to think 6, 8, 10, 12 months ahead of time, honestly. Because if you want to find a male, that means that basically from seed, you're going to have to basically invest at least 4 months. Of course, if you have the schedule open to launch them right away, it's going to be 4 months before you find that male. It's going to be basically another probably 3 months because you might have already cloned them in the meantime, but you won't make the final selection until you actually chop them. But okay, you have an actual clone, let's say at week 4, basically, of that first crop. So 3 months later, you could actually have a breeding cycle, or maybe 2.5 months later. Still, we're talking about now 6.5, 7 months. If nothing goes wrong from now, if you were to look for a male and breed that into, let's say, known clones, if you wanted to breed it into gelato 43 and 33 and 33 and a half and whatever the fuck, right? So again, 6, 7, 8 months from now, this is the problem I'm at. I'm like, okay, Do I want to stay in this shit show for the next year? Do I want to stay here for the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Oh, I don't know. I think the answer to that is really no. Do I want to stay here for the next 6 or 8 or 9 months? Maybe to see how things go. Okay, well, so I have time to grow, but I don't really have time to breed. I don't know. This is where I'm at basically right now, ladies and gentlemen, because rare time in my life, I could just cut ties and bounce. So I'm thinking about it. I have to be honest. Welcome, folks, in the chat. J5's hanging. Al Telescope's hanging. Patricia's hanging in the house. She says, "Cheers, everyone. Welcome, good to see you, Patricia. Welcome to the house." Switch folks to live chat if you would for a superior chatting experience. Looks like North Star's probably not going to join us today. So folks, I don't know, maybe we'll just do a short one tonight because I really don't really have any specific things to talk about, to be honest. Something I realized, I think last night, honestly, with a little bit of the trash talking in the chat, I was like, with the change in administration, we don't have to exaggerate because the guy is being pretty open about his desires to do a certain amount of well, we don't have to get into specifics. We've talked enough politics for a few lifetimes. There's a non-zero chance that there will be a Ministry of Information, that there will be a Gestapo that will patrol basically the internet and other media to look for people who are trash talking the dear leader. It's not a high chance necessarily, so that's
Jimmy
good, I
Kimmel.
guess. Thanks to America having a strong tradition of free speech, it's not 100% chance, but it's a non-zero chance. And I realized to myself, what there is 100% chance of is that there's a few people in my chat that will definitely rat me out. So if there ever is in Ministry of Truth or anything else, we can guarantee that some of the folks that are watching right now probably would rat me out and would happily report me to just to see the channel burn. Not for any other reason. They don't even probably personally dislike me. That's the best part of trolling on the internet. A lot of you guys are not really even serious. You just are unaware, perhaps, of some of the consequences of your actions and find everything amusing because TikTok and everything else has kind of commodified your lives. I don't know. Anyway, but that definitely got me to think about the future of this show because I am sort of by nature pretty openly political and so on. Well, I'm gonna have to bite my tongue because I don't know who's watching, and I can guarantee that if there's ever a chance to report it, it'll be reported, guaranteed. So, gotta watch my tongue. What can I tell you? And if I have to watch my tongue with one thing, how many other things do I have to start watching my tongue? I don't know. I don't know. Have I already said enough bad things to run afoul of any potential Ministry of Truth? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Nobody's going to know that. Now comes the anticipatory compliance. Basically, it's really an unfortunate part of regime changes. Anyway, so gosh, I think probably I'm probably not the only. I've had a whole conversation with a friend of mine earlier today. I'm not the only person thinking this way. Cheers, Al. Good to see you. No, Coffee Pod. It's too late for that. It has become Trumpistan, so it's only a question of how deep it goes. I don't think people realize we lost. Like yesterday, they won and the rest of us lost. It wasn't an election so much as it was almost like I mean, the coronation comes later, I suppose, but no, it's going to get weird. It's going to get exciting, in a bad way, one that I'm not really eager to see, to be perfectly frank with you. Elon Musk is going to be in charge of an entire new government agency, whose
Oh God.
entire job is to cut a third of the entire budget. When asked if he knew that that was going to crash the economy, he was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's the kind of the goal." Um, so that's exciting. That's exciting. That's going to be good times. Everyone knows that cutting the because the government, by the way, if people didn't know, it is by far the biggest employer in the United States. Walmart is, I believe, still the biggest private employer by far. Amazon was coming up on them, but I think they're still quite a bit behind. I think Walmart really has a commanding lead still. We could look it up, but I kind of don't care anymore. Um, but the federal government is the largest by far, several million people. So if you were to cut a third of that, that basically means that you just added to the unemployment rates. The unemployment rates are usually What was last month's? Oh, I just broke my own rule because I kind of don't care about this stuff anymore. Basically, I'm going to have to avoid politics and all that kind of stuff pretty much for the next 4 years. I can't listen to Trump talk anymore. I can't really. Elon is in the news every single day already,
Uh,
and he's not a government official, so just wait for him to be head of. By the way, it's called Doge, literally called Doge, because of course it is. Um, full
Elon nut job. Anyway,
civilian unemployment rate. It was where did I check this last time? This was 4%. Okay, but it doesn't tell me in cumulative numbers. That was no, that was Bureau of Labor Statistics. That would be a good place to find it. Where else would that be? How many millions would that be? Here we go. September, CNN. Still doesn't give me the cumulative number. The unemployment rate ticked lower from to 4.2% from 4.3. I think the total number of employed is about 130 million. So it's like 5 million people, something like that. Where is it? How many million people are unemployed? Well, that's frustrating that I can't find that easily. How or total number, oh, it's still giving me the same fucking pages again. Fuck, I hate the internet now. It just gives you garbage anymore. Um, Gives me percentages. Oh, here we go. Total number of jobless 5 weeks. Here we go. I think we have good data now, finally. This is the Bureau of Labor Statistics from the U.S. Department of Labor. This is good statistics. U.S. employment situation, September 2024. Changed a little at 4.1%. However, the cumulative number is actually the unemployment rate of 4.1% and the number of unemployed people at 6.8 million people changed little in September. There we go. So if you were to add 2 million to 6 million, you'd basically be adding 30%, 40% jobless. That would be a bad thing generally. When that happens, generally that's a crash. Now, perhaps people would be fine with that because they're like, yay, government workers are on the street now. Um, Still going to mean that all that spending that they had is going to be drying up as well. So all the businesses that they ate lunch at, all the places they took their clothes to get dry cleaned at, et cetera, those places will close. So generally speaking, adding a couple million people to the jobless rates is not good. Also, by the way, they're going to be deporting up to 30 million people. I don't know. That's some of the numbers that have been thrown around. So anywhere between none and 30 million. So that's exciting. If you were to deport 30 million people, then presumably most of those people, contrary to expectations, are actually employed. It's kind of the paradox of the fascist regime where your enemies are both unemployed losers, but also taking our gerbs. So the lazy people sitting on their couch will leave, and meanwhile, those jobs that they actually did have will be empty. In other words, the fields whose fruits and vegetables and stuff that they picked will be empty. So we'll have food crises. We'll have pretty meaningful inflation because of that. There's no automation that can replace that amount of labor. There's quite a bit of fruits and vegetables that can't meaningfully be picked with current automation. Strawberries are good examples of that. So pretty much you have good old-fashioned backbreaking work that picks your strawberries. It's one reason why they're quite expensive as a fruit or a berry, whatever the fuck they are. Um, yeah, speaking of fruits and berries, tomatoes, that's another good one. Tomatoes, there's some automation you can do, but generally speaking, tomatoes, if you want a good tomato, oh, there's some echo there, D. You basically have to handpick them if you want the good ones, pretty much. Anyway, looks like no one's gonna hop on here either, so it's pretty much just D and me. Jones N2 Grow is saying, what's Jones N2 Grow saying? Uh, Southern BT saying American is going to be great again. Please don't use that slogan on my chat, please. About time for change. We are many hands and minds that can do great things. I wish you success. I really don't think it's going to happen. Honestly, he was not a great president. I don't think the first time. I don't think he's going to do a great job the second time. He doesn't seem motivated by the right reasons. I have to be frank with you. So I guess we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. Jones Andrew Gross says, feck shite arse is how I feel about this. Cheers all. Woke up with an ocular migraine. Yeah, pretty much, buddy. Um, Luciferians are crying, apparently, CTC says. I don't know why. I guess apparently. Uh, Son VT is a big fan of Elon. He's saying he's definitely bringing us into the future. Amazing seeing that rocket get caught. Must be amazing to be there for takeoff, the power. Those rockets certainly are pretty amazing. Love for the Plan has an MBA and 25 years corporate experience. We knew you were a smarty pants. I've never seen such a depressed job market in my career. I have heard that from a variety of people. Rory Gardner's in the house. What's going on, Rory? Cheers, buddy. Stragglethorn. Didn't I ban you yesterday, Stragglethorn? Stragglethorn has now. Oh, I banned him on the main account. All right. Stragglethorn is saying Fumer probably doesn't even have a job for someone to take away. Make America. All right, Stragglethorn, we banned you yesterday. I mean, fuck, I can just
Oh
remove you
yeah.
forever. I'll just put you in timeout for 24 hours. Fuck it. Be funny to see you come back. Coffee Pot says, who's going to pick the food? Migrants are not going to come to work if they are treated with suspicion for being migrant workers. Very good point. I doubt the farmer's family will pick by hand the veggies. There have been a number of farmers, good old-fashioned Republican farmers, that have said this exactly. Doesn't matter. This country is currently um, if you believe the polls and stuff, apparently a lot of black men voted for Trump, a lot of Hispanics voted for Trump. He didn't seem to actually gain any votes from 2020, so I don't know how true that is, but whatever, that's what people are saying. We'll take their word for it for the moment. I actually don't even know where to. I don't know where to take that, to be honest. It just seems so foolish, but uh, whatever, man. I don't even know. Seriously, like what freaking what migrant workers are going to come to work tomorrow? Or I guess tomorrow maybe it's fine, but I mean, like it's starting in January, they're just gonna leave. They're just gonna fucking leave, and so food is gonna get very expensive. A lot of food's just not gonna get picked. A lot of food's just gonna rot in the field. That happens all the time. Every time there's like a migrant roundup or whatever, because I've grown up contrary to all these assholes, contrary to Stragglethorn and stuff. I actually grew up around farmers and stuff, so I actually know quite a few, or knew. I guess I don't really know as many anymore, but I used to know a lot of farmers. And goodness gracious, when the migrants got rounded up, the fucking fruit rotted in the field because there was nobody to pick it. Because what, you want the high school kids to go pick it? Fuck right off, you dumb fucking dumb. I mean, you're dumb if you say that. You're just dumb, 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 dumb. The high school kids aren't going to go pick fruit. Shut the fuck up. The high school kids will go pick it. Shut the fuck up. Not for $100 an hour, dumbass. Fucking Momo. Try it. Try it. Seriously, go try picking fruits for a day. Go try it. I've done it. I wonder if you have. I wonder if any of you fuckers, Stragglethorn, all of you, I wonder if any of you have picked fruit for a day, much less 5 days, 6 days, 10 days. Generally speaking, they pick them until the crop is gone. So they might not have a day off. Contrary to popular impression, the migrant workers are not actually paid peanuts on the dollar. They're actually paid pretty well because, again, you have to fucking attract people to fucking pick these things. It's backbreaking work. With strawberries and stuff, a lot of times they're
Yeah.
laying down on this moving thing. It's a
I
fucking
used to pick
joke.
strawberries.
Oh, it's absolutely. Have you picked strawberries, D?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to
Would you
work
do it
for a
again?
company. No.
Yeah.
But they also was also pretty crazy though and cool. The company did hire Mexican immigrants that just come to Canada just for the season. So they'll pick
Hmm.
all the strawberries, make all the money, and then they take it back, which is awesome. And it's not like nothing illegal or nothing. It's all legal work for these guys. It was just awesome how they were able to, because they were so poor, these guys. I got to know some of them. Anyway, you're muted.
I thank you, D.
Oh,
I just said some folks know what it's like. Southern VT saying I used to pick peas, 30 cents a pound, 7 days a week. Sometimes people used to pick blueberries by hand. Now it's pretty much machine picking, but people used to pick that. That used to be something you could make pretty good money at. Excuse me. What else? You could probably pick Marion berries still, probably for pretty good money. I don't remember if those are machine picked now. Excuse me. I think those are still hand picked, honestly, to be honest. They're too soft. Fuck was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get anyone else on here. So we'll probably give it last call. We'll bounce here in a little bit. Up for debate if we'll be on this channel or D's channel on Saturday. I would really encourage folks to subscribe to D's channel, underscore once again, D zombie underscore 745. I think I said it wrong the first time. I think that's what it is.
yeah, you're right. 745.
There we go. Boom. So folks, do subscribe to that one if you can.
Yeah, I'm on.
We'll see how it goes from here because yeah, I don't know. I've said before, I don't know if I get a whole lot from these shows, so I don't know if I'm really willing to stick my neck out and just pay money to keep these shows running and stuff like that. So we'll see. I don't know. I if I don't buy this house, there's not really much of a sense in continuing the whole grow thing and stuff. So if I don't continue with that, then I'll probably just go away and sort of just kind of disappear with the channel. If I do keep growing, maybe there's a point in continuing it. Even then, probably I'll start to change things up because I'm pretty discouraged at the whole trajectory of everything. So we'll see. I don't know. Worst thing is, it's not like I can ask any of you guys for you know commentaries. Anytime I try to ask for ideas, nothing, not a single fucking thing. So I didn't even know that my email was down. I had my Proton Mail apparently was down for a month. I don't even know
Huh.
actually why it was down. They had to authenticate some new thing. I don't even really remember what the problem was, but they had it wasn't logging in again. It was really bizarre. I had to
Huh.
sign new terms of service, maybe. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, apparently it was down for a month. Didn't even know because it's not like you fucking guys take advantage of that email anyway, so let's not bother. But Kilowatt's saying just create your own reality under the rock. I'll be growing bud until I die. Oh no, for sure. If you grow for yourself, I mean, holy crap, you can grow that stuff for yourself. Come on. I was thinking about even if I move, a place I'm thinking about moving, technically growing is not exactly legal, but I think honestly, if you keep under the radar, you're probably fine. Uh, Seems like it anyway. I have to ask around a little bit more, so we'll see. Uh, sure would be kind of shitty to leave Oregon and stuff, but I don't think this is going to get better for the foreseeable future. I think that we've made a generational change now. So I think that the Supreme Court basically is lost pretty much for good because what's his face? Scalia and not Scalia's dead. Thomas, rather. Thomas and Alito. There we go. Alito and Thomas have been hinting that they might retire. Well, so they're going to get replaced with very young, probably 20-year-old people just straight out of college that the Federalist Society likes. So that basically means the Supreme Court's locked up pretty much for good. And then if any of the, what's her face, who's the one that's getting long in the tooth right now? I think it's Sotomayor is pretty long in the tooth now, or was it the other one? They're actually, none of them are really that young. Kagan is not really that young anymore, but I think it was Sotomayor that basically is thinking about freaking kicking the can. And well, she's going to get replaced. So it's going to end up meaning that Trump ends up getting 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 Supreme Court justices. Give me a fucking break. So, yeah, I don't know if I can deal with that, to be honest, because I don't think it's ever going to change back at all in any meaningful way. So sad, honestly, because I think it's kind of the end of something rather than the beginning of something else. I mean, I guess the end of something is always the beginning of something else. So that's kind of a logical fallacy, but whatever. Southern VT saying buy land. I tried to buy a home 25 years ago. Land I'm able to own without payments. Yeah, right on. Southern VT says we have many immigrants from Jamaica. Cool dudes. They fill containers with flea market shit. So we have a relationship. Say goodbye to them because Trump has basically been pretty honest that he's going to get rid of all of them. So apparently legal and illegal immigrants. So that's going to be exciting. I don't know how they're going to pick. It's interesting because oh no, I think Vance's wife is not an immigrant, but her parents are. So that'll be interesting.
Well,
Trump's wife is an immigrant, so is he going to deport her? Maybe that's his stealth way of getting a
probably.
divorce. That's kind of funny.
That's one way to get rid of
Uh,
her.
yeah, well, we'll see. I don't
Crazy.
know if I'm interested in just surviving, bud. I'm pretty tired of it. I'm pretty tired of the way things have been going. So I'd like to go somewhere where I could actually enjoy my life for a change. I'm definitely not getting younger. You're not getting younger either. It'd be nice to enjoy things for a while and not have to look over your shoulder all the time. I don't think people understand how shady life is in places like Russia. You'll find out. I mean, you'll find
Yeah,
out soon enough. But yeah, I don't think people realize what it's like
but
there. We'll see. Left with Plants saying Supreme Court being locked up, coupled with Republican pay for Supreme Court decisions. That's probably what I worry about the most. Yeah, corruption is legal now, so corruption is perfectly acceptable now. Um, President can be bought. Not just Trump, but any president now can be bought. That's now an official act, basically, according to the Supreme Court. So Trump's going to test all the boundaries of that. Don't you worry. So if you thought he was a little egregious the first time, but wondered what he could do in the second time, you're going to find out that the sequel's always better. Uh, so everything saying the women on stage with Trump looked like robots. That Botox.
what? Cheers, Jimmy Crackcorn. Welcome.
Oh, that's an instant ban. Fuck you very much. Anyone who talks about copium and stuff like that, that's an instant ban. Instant ban. It's not a useful comment, honestly. It's making fun of someone for being upset at something. Okay? Like, so you're making fun of someone for having emotions? What are you, a robot? I don't know. Like, what are you, fucking Spock? I don't know. It's a weird backwards thing. Like, oh, ha,
That's
ha,
the
ha,
logic.
oh, I am unemotional. All right. I mean, shit. I don't know. It's a weird logic, but in the meantime, fuck yourself. Try your own channel, Jimmy Crackthorn. Crackthorn rather. Oh, I remember. It's the same fucking troll that comes back. Same name too. I'm not 100% sure who this one is. I think I know who the other guy is, but I'm not. I think this is a different guy. It could be the same guy, but they have like different speech patterns. Anyway, it's one of the same. It's one of the same dipshits. It's so absurd. Like, come on, motherfucker. I mean, just
Over.
honestly, like, ugh. This is one of the guys that I know. This is one of the trash cans that I know for sure would report me to any kind of Ministry of Truth or anything like that. Like if there's any kind of North Korean style system where they're like, "Did you insult the dear leader? Yes, no." These people will report me 100%. So that's the kind of person that I have to worry about, basically. Um, and they don't seem to go away. I think they enjoy being the rat in the they enjoy being the vermin, basically. They enjoy being the vermin in the room, essentially. So I guess they say that you're never more than, what, 15 feet from a rat in a big city? Well, you're never more than 15 feet from a rat in the fucking YouTube chat, apparently. So there we go. What else going on in the chat here?
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, folks. I should probably take a dab. I don't know if my rig is clean.
Mercy
Let's fix that
buckets.
problem. Well, we'll give it a little bit longer here, but then we might bounce.
Cool, man.
Got a lot of lemon tree to trim. Yeah, it's a good problem to have, honestly. Like
Yeah.
having lots of herb to trim. I don't call it trim jail anymore after being chastised. I think he was trying to be a dick about it, to be perfectly honest. So I won't say who it was that chastised me, but a friend of mine from the Portland area years ago, and he was like, "Bro, you know that there are actually people in jail for weed crimes, right? Like trim jail is not it's not actual jail." I was like, all right, he was being a dick about it, to be perfectly honest, but he was right. Actually, he was right. You can be a dick and be right at the same time. It's like being a broken clock and being right twice a day, right? But he was right. It's not the same thing as jail, right? I think people who've probably been to jail or prison would probably testify to that. Happily, testify is probably not the right word in this context, but they would be happy to confirm that being in jail and having to trim a pound of weed or something is not the same fucking thing. You can turn on Netflix, you can turn on some music, you could whatever, right? You can get high while you're trimming. I mean, holy shit, you can eat munchies while you're fucking trimming. Whereas in jail, people yell at you. It's not a great time, you know, et cetera, et cetera. We know the drill, right? Um,
It's
there's
nice
apparently
too.
lots of ramen, soup packets and ramen, and what else? Candy.
Uh,
I've heard over and over and over again, just candy, apparently.
oh, in jail.
Anyway, yeah, I guess they try to keep the inmates fat and happy pretty much these days with just like shitty sugar treats pretty much, which is really bad for them, like long term. So that's spectacular. But anyway, back to whatever the fuck we were talking about. What were we talking about? I don't remember, honestly. I was just babbling about random. Well, I'm babbling about random stuff because no one else has hopped on here. Uh, did I ever hand it off to you, D? I guess I didn't. I just always kept talking. Go for it, D.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great night, afternoon, whatever day we're
All
at.
right.
Yeah, cheers.
Here's D.
Yeah, man. Rolling
Yeah,
another
man.
joint. Um, P13. I'm smoking P13. I love this shit. Stuff's
Oh, that's a
really
good
good.
one. Wish I had a clone of that one.
I need some lemon juice.
John Sanchi Cross saying, I'm only 15 miles south and Canada is looking plenty warm. Hey D, move to BC and be my neighbor. You coming, Fumi?
Yeah.
Uh Celebrity T
Um,
saying warm as fuck here as well. It was 22 Fahrenheit the other night. Jesus Christ.
it's
Somebody
good
from
right
Mod
now.
Vintage says trim jail for me sucks to sit up that long. If I could lay down and trim it would be done already. Uh we'll try it. Do do it like French knife grinders used to do it. Hear this up, but you're like, well, of course I know what French knife grinders look like, Fumi. Uh, um,
Uh-oh.
no, that's not the right search term. Was it not French guys? Uh,
Uh,
why can't I find this now? Um,
well, it's great.
Here we go. Here's a picture. Is this good enough? All right, this is good enough for business. We can find other pictures if you absolutely need to see more of the same. Oh, look at that
Nice.
forest here. Here we go. Share. This is it. So I won't swear that these guys are French, but I remember the French knife grinders basically would do it like this. They would lay down to save their backs, basically, and they would essentially, as you can see, kind of just obviously they're looking up for the camera, but if you can't figure out what they're doing, they have knives down here, and those are wheels. I think those wheels, they're big stone wheels that were powered
What
by
the
one
fuck?
shaft, basically. It's like a water wheel, essentially. There's probably a
What in the
water mill right off
is
camera. What's
is
that,
this a
Sarah?
torture device?
It's just about basically. Well, actually, these were really bad for your back as well. Essentially, standing for 10 hours a day, because remember, this is before unions. These people would stand for 10 hours a day and grind a knife. Pretty bad for your back, your feet, everything else. This was considered better for you. So they would lay down basically for 10 hours a day. They actually had special dogs that were bred. In fact, one of them, now that I see it, there's a dog right there. There were dogs that were bred to sit basically on your ass to warm you up because these places literally is a water mill. So this place was cold as shit. As you can imagine, the water is literally like the wheel itself, the whole shaft is probably sloshing water because it's literally connected to a water wheel. So and also the water helps lubricate the stones. So basically, like it's a very cold, moist environment in that area, right next to a river, probably right above a river, actually, because a lot of the watermill works basically are built right above the river itself. So it's like super cold air. So
Where is this located?
This was probably in France or UK. I mean, they had stuff like this all over Europe for a while, but this, there were kind of centers of knife making and stuff. So a good chance this could have been in although I think the Germans stood up to grind. So probably France, maybe England, maybe Spain.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not doing that today.
Yeah, right. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Fucking Peter Thiel or whoever won't get us there.
Okay, let's see. What are you guys smoking on tonight or today?
G
I
13.
haven't smoked anything for about 40 minutes or so, but I was smoking lemon tree.
I haven't. About to take my first dab. It's carbon fiber, and then the diamonds are XJ13 Jack something or another. Strawberry Jack and XJ13. I don't know. Tastes like
Hmm.
strawberries.
Hmm.
I like
Nice.
strawberries.
Strawberry Jack would be nice.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about it too. I was like, damn, who still has that like original Jack, like that Northwest cut of Jack Herrera? Like that you don't see it. Like you used to see Jack Herrera in California a lot. Like it was everywhere, like
Hmm.
wildfire. It's like as common as Blue Dream at one time. But I don't know if like it just wasn't popular on the rec market or what, because I never see it.
I don't know.
So when I
We have
saw
it
it, I
up
was like,
here,
oh.
but it does come and go. It's not always up here.
Do you see the cut ever? Like it is.
I do. Yeah. I had it for a little bit. I just harvested it. And unfortunately, because I was down in LA, I didn't have a chance to take clones of it, but I can get the cut again. Excuse me. And I've been thinking about getting it. Pretty yummy, honestly. It's got this, at least the cut that I found, it has this, it's the same cut that I had a couple of years ago. It has this like pronounced kind of tennis shoe aroma to it. Like basically like when you crack open a brand new pair of tennis shoes.
Oh, that like
It's the
fresh
kind of,
new that
yeah, a
new
little bit,
smell.
yeah, like plasticky kind of whatever. It's hard
Yeah,
to explain a little bit. Uh, Polyurethane or something. I don't know exactly what it smells like. But then also it's kind of lemony and piney and earthy and stuff, right? But got a nice cool high. It's a real polarizing one though, because Jack Hare, I think, is one of those ones that some people just flat out don't like the high of. Folks, I think that have like ADHD, for example, I think they get really um, too in their head about it. What was it the other day? It was my friend wanted to talk, but felt encumbered. It was a weird one. She was like, I felt like I couldn't talk, but I wanted to, or something. It was an uncomfortable sensation. And I've heard that kind of like some kind of combination of paranoia from Jack Herer. That was way back when I started working with my Ruby Jack. One of the reasons why I liked it is because every time I showed it off to somebody, I hadn't really made the connection. I was like, oh, because the father, grandfather was son of Jack, basically, or father was son of Jack. So I knew there was some Jack Herer lineage, but I wasn't really trying to pass it off as like a Jack Herer. But I'd smoke it with people, and they were like, "Oh shit, what is this? Is this like Jack Herer, but it's like nicer." That was like the comment that people would have. There's like, "Oh, this really reminds me of Jack Herer, but like I like it." Because for some reason, so many people can't stand Jack Herer. You're right. A lot of people
yeah.
really dislike it.
Well, it's a foul taste. You either love it or you don't.
Yeah.
There's no in
And I
between.
like it. But then again, I like all weed pretty much. I guess I'm not a good example for that. But yeah, it's a weird one. I don't know why you would dislike it. I don't know why you would dislike Jack and like Jack the Ripper, for example. I don't know why you would dislike Jack and then like any kind of piney strains. I don't know. Whatever.
Subcool. He loved Jack.
Yeah.
And yeah, all that. I like all that TGA stuff. That's
Mm.
why I gravitated towards it. He had good flavors.
Well, Jack Hare and Jack the Ripper are different, but you're right.
They
Same
had
kind of
blood.
vibe, like
Well,
really
yeah, the lemon.
flavorful. 100%. It was that sort of because the Jack Hare, I want to say it was which it was a Dutch breeder. I don't remember which one. One of them. Anyway. Um fucking greenhouse. I don't remember. Uh
Somebody.
at the time anyway, probably still to this day, but I guess I would say the breeding is crappy now. But the goal is still the same, that they're kind of trying for really flavorful, fruity, loud aromas, right? And I don't think the Dutch were ever really that known. Well, I guess this is probably going to be controversial because that's where skunk came from. But I was going to say I don't think they were really known for that kind of skunky stuff that like American breeders are mostly known for these days. The gassy, skunky stuff, I think, really comes from the U.S. these days. I think the fruity stuff basically came from Europe. I don't know. Is that unfair? Is that wrong?
I don't know. It's hard to say because the Canadians had a lot of that too. Like Space
Mm,
Queen came from Canada,
that's true. That's true.
and
Yeah,
then
eh?
on top of that, like I was thinking about like Skittles, right? And I was like, how everything like became fruit forward, but like Subcool had this fruit 10 years before Skittles, at
Yeah.
least, you know.
Yeah,
But
I remember smoking Skittles the first time, and I was like, "Oh, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because everyone's shitting their pants for this." And I was like, "I've tasted this 10 times in other stuff, right?" You're
yeah,
like, you're 100% right. Yeah, yeah. It is what it is. Sometimes the first person to kind of successfully bring it across the finish line is the one that wins, I guess. Bud Kilowatt was talking about how he had tasted cookies before, which is very plausible, right?
very possible.
Same
Yeah.
thing with Cam and everything else. Like it's so implausible, honestly. Oh, here comes North Star after all. It's so implausible that Cam, what the Miracle Seven seeds, right? Or Miracle Five seeds. It's so implausible. Those are the only good seeds that came out of the entire
No
Grateful
doubt.
Dead fucking milieu. Like bullshit, right? Like
Yeah,
bullshit.
no
Like I'm
doubt. Like,
sure other stuff, it just for whatever reason has not been brought to the market or something. Cheers, North
and
Star. Good to see you.
and if they were
Welcome.
selling the pounds to that guy or
Yeah.
whatever they were selling to that guy, I'm sure they sold a lot to a lot of other people, and those seeds are out there somewhere.
Hmm. Yeah. What
Who
were we
knows how
just
many other
talking
maybe
about?
mythical strains came from seeds from that same batch or something.
Yeah, right. Huh, I wonder. Uh,
Or for that
okay.
matter, if that,
Go ahead.
where was that being grown at and who was growing it? What were they playing around with at the time? They could be
Yeah,
mixing
right.
with something else and making
Yeah.
crosses or
Yeah. Yeah. Who was it? I think it was Bud that was talking on the show. If you're listening, obviously you're welcome to hop on here. I feel like he was talking about that weed came from Ohio, or maybe it was Captain that was talking about it. Fuck, someone on the show was talking about how they had smoked weed like that, and then it showed up basically at what the Albany, New York show. Fuck, which Grateful Dead show was it? But I mean, that's literally a couple 100 miles. That's not a long distance when you look at the map.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember who was talking about it. Anyway, what's going on, North Star? What's the good word?
yeah, it's a nice day out, a little breeze. You got some what's it called, red flag warnings today for like
Hmm.
wind and dryness or whatever. But realistically, it's breezy, but it's beautiful out, sunny and nice. I'm just having a smoke,
Right on.
freaking tired. Woke up with a headache in the middle of the night, had a hard
Officer.
time. I got to sleep with a stiff neck kind of deal. So
Huh,
I'm gonna smoke myself feeling better and
right
relax.
on. I'm gonna go swap water on this one. Talk amongst yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna make the
So I added some hash into
co-host.
that um joint here.
Go now. We got a couple.
I was talking with Gooey Breeder yesterday. He came by and dropped off some seed stock and stuff, and he was reminiscing about all the old crap and all. And he was bringing up the in the mid '60s the Colombian gold that was dropped off at New York originally. That's why they created the High Times magazine. Basically, they had a whole freaking room full of pot they couldn't sell, so they made a magazine around and sold the hell out of that shit. He was talking about that being in New York during that time.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty cool stories.
Right on. I hear. Oh, that's funny. Here's everybody in chat. Hey, Bud, how's it going, man?
I like I like those lineage things. They're pretty cool. I got some of them up on the web pages already. I'm gonna get the rest of them up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I like the lineage charts too. The only thing is you need to flip them around, sort of, eventually, because the female should always be on the top, and the male should always be on the bottom.
That's what she said.
Ah,
To continue with what you were saying, okay, yeah, Crested Butte. These cyclists on dead tour. Well, they weren't deadheads necessarily, but over a couple tours, they would show up Well, the Cam is Deer Creek, Deer Springs, Deer Creek show. But every season they would show up with these pounds, or no, they were selling smaller amounts in the lot. Yeah, P-Bud.
Was did you ever see Joe Petrie at any of these events?
Never.
I didn't think so.
Joe Petrie?
Yeah.
That guy, I met him at the 2005 Cup. I never seen him anywhere before that.
He's got a lot of stories, but we're just trying to link some of those stories up with some people that might have been there. And it seems to be very challenging.
Yeah, well, yeah, I heard him talk about like his Grateful Dead, and it was yeah. I mean, I'm a Deadhead my whole life. Yeah, no, he bullshit. But whatever.
When I met him, he was all about his freaking isolator hash thing, and it was ripping on Mila for.
Oh yeah, he got pissed on
that. Was a whole big thing. They were like booths, like 4 booths apart, and they were like shooting fingers at each other the whole time. This is ridiculous.
He claimed that he invented. He claimed he invented the thing, and that GW Pharma. Those guys all got together and created GW Pharmaceuticals, and
he has a whole thing about how the Dutch light bulb industry is against him, right? Like there's like a worldwide Dutch light bulb conspiracy.
Yeah, and like what Dutch light bulb manufacturer exists? Like I don't know.
Oh, seriously,
like, which ones are left, right?
At the Cup, then people were going around and had like people that were like couldn't say like Mila and some of her cronies were going around putting up like little homemade posters like wanted CI informant, blah blah blah, like trying to rat the guy out, like ruin his business at the show and everything. It was so it was really juvenile back and forth. They were just ragging on each other and stuff. It was hilarious, but I don't know.
Did you ever try that hash thing he had?
You know, I hadn't, but I mean, it's an awesome idea. You get full spectrum, everything. I just think it's kind of hard. The way it looks to me, it all collects in a little vessel at the bottom. But it looks kind of hard to get that out of there completely. What do you have to break it eventually to scrape it all clean, or a little solvent or something to get the?
Is it mixing all? Is it mixing all the different microns together? Is that what you're saying?
It's like it's a cone with a bigger filter, so no plant material gets through it. Just everything filters to the bottom until like one little vessel. You turn it off, and it's like everything mixed together. Yeah, full spectrum.
Yeah,
the whole...
I mean, that's good and bad. That's not connoisseur type thing.
Yeah.
Who in the chat here? Jones says Phillips is huge. That's a good point, but I don't think Phillips knows who Joe Petrie is. I don't know. Would you, if you were to bet $1,000 on Phillips, the worldwide corporation, knowing who the name Joe Petrie is, Flora, would you take that bet? I think I would.
No.
Well, I mean, one of his main things is what's that?
Okay, so
he's got 12 on or the lighting schedule.
Sorry to talk over. He's written like 3 or 4 books, and I actually have them. And I read the books, and like I think he has some truths in there, like about going over to Nepal and the overseas stuff. But then when he like takes credit for American strains like that, I think he's a little nutty on that. Like the whole like being the inventor of every.
What is it? I mean, it's really called the lantern technique. It was the tulip guys used it.
12-1, yeah.
12-1. But like the physics of that is like less light, less yield. I mean, that's bottom line, right? The physics of it. So, but here's people believe in that weird shit.
Yeah, I mean, if we could get full yield off of 6 hours of light, I think we'd all be doing it.
Yeah.
But that's literally like trying to drive 100 miles on 50 miles worth of gas. It's just not doable with an engine that gets 100 miles to the gallon. Yeah, but with 50 miles to the gallon, you can't do it. And that's the thing. Most lights basically are getting, let's just say for the metaphor, 50 miles to the gallon. You physically cannot squeeze more out of it. You can do hypermiling and everything else, but you're still basically robbing yourself. What is it? Robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're never really getting that 100 miles per gallon that you're hoping for. It's just never going to happen. You'd have to break the laws of thermodynamics and stuff basically to do it, right? Pull energy from Star Trek subspace or some shit. Come on.
I mean, the laws of physics are pretty straightforward. You can maybe bend them a little, but no, you can't. There's no way around them.
The Enterprise is going to be real now, though. That's cool.
What is Elon going to build it now or something?
Yeah, Elon's going to build the Enterprise. That's what he said.
Nice.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's the
he'll get
coolest-
every contract, every space contract forever now. Basically, goes to him. This is obviously why Bezos pulled the Washington Post endorsement the other day. I'm sure Amazon has their own pollsters, and probably his internal pollsters basically told him that,
Yeah,
first of all,
here.
Washington Post has their own pollsters without question, and they probably told him that Trump was going to win, or that at least there was a strong
Blue.
chance of it, and so basically he didn't want to jeopardize his Blue Origin and other.
Yeah, what is Blue Origin
Amazon
doing these days,
AWS has
though?
all kinds of government contracts that are worth billions of dollars. What's that for?
Blue Origins, though, I mean, they still have government contracts.
They're basically balls, though. They haven't successfully done essentially anything. For like it or hate it, basically, SpaceX is the only game in town right now.
Well, I thought it was kind of creepy when Trump in his speech last night said, a new star has been born. And Elon Musk, like, oh, fuck, man.
Mm.
Like, and maybe, yeah, like, oh, if that guy gets a taste of politics, like he's got everything else, like what would stop him?
Oh yeah, he'll be the first trillionaire too. That's been his goal,
Yeah.
And
obviously.
like,
Oh my God.
yeah, the star system is weak enough to allow that type of thing. And
Mhm.
What is it about Blue Origins that doesn't work? Is it technology
They
within
just
the
suck.
rocket?
Yeah, they're apparently a bit behind on technology. Someone in the chat, I'm sure, could fill us in a lot better. They just haven't successfully done anything. All the
Because the
crazy
guy has
stuff that
so much money
I know, but
to dump it. I mean, you should be able to get the smartest people.
well, that's the thing with Elon and all these things. He has some really smart people. He's
People, yeah,
higher
he
up
does.
in his team and pay or whatever.
That's the thing. SpaceX, they say, is the one that he messes with the least. There's a whole team at SpaceX that basically keeps him away and keeps him from fucking stupid shit up. Like we're
There
gonna
was
build all our cars submicron, whatever. One day, but they
Lex
don't.
Friedman show. It was like 4 hours long, and it started with Elon Musk for like 45 minutes, but then it went to the guys that people in space, that some of these the heads of whatever, and then I realized everything he says is just shit that these guys have told him.
Mhm.
And then he acts like he's fucking knows, or he knows, but like,
That's a lot of
yeah, if you could
CEOs.
hire that level of people, like the
Oh,
one
that's
dude,
that's a lot of CEOs, though.
yeah, but like the
No,
one
it
dude
starts
from the
with his
SpaceX
his
thing,
vision starts off though. He
It's
has the
like pretty-
foresight and vision to come up with the idea in the first place to try these lofty ideas. That's
Yeah,
what sets the
the
wheels.
one
in motion.
guy,
His
he's-
success rate is what gets people behind him.
he was like beyond a super achiever in Berkeley, and his education credentials are beyond. Yeah, and so, Elon's got that guy on his team. Yeah, that's a lot of it right there. I forget the guy's name, but I was like, oh, that guy knows all the shit.
They
And
feel
then the
left
one
out.
guy
D.
working on the what do you call it, like the implant?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Neuralink.
Hey, D, are you
yeah,
being
that
left?
guy really knew his stuff and like came out of college, and yeah, it was a good bet to bring that guy in. Like, yep, he has some really good people around him. Now,
Hey,
I
D,
don't know
you
how
feel
those
left out?
people
Yeah, no,
like
no
can-
space program. No Canadian space program.
Yeah, we have a space
They've
program.
got the Canadian Goose program. That's,
Oh, do
that's
they?
close
we
enough.
have a space program actually.
I've never seen you guys in the space station. I never see a Canadian flag.
I think they have astronauts.
They have, yeah.
Do they?
They're
Yeah,
not
we
that
have-
common,
yeah.
but they do have
They've
some.
been up- we've had astronauts up there. They have, which is surprising for me now, is
Oh, really?
the Indian space program now.
Oh, the Indian
Hmm.
thing is
Come
like
up.
advanced though, like super advanced.
Yeah, but you don't
What?
see
And the Canadians were up there with twigs and beavers and stuff then?
I don't know. I just figured they piggyback off us.
They took a beaver dam up into space.
I'll fix that hole.
Powered by maple syrup.
Like you never hear about there's no SpaceX there, there's no Blue Regions there, there's no
Yeah, it's true.
you know. They got billionaires, I'm sure.
Uh,
I
oh
know
yeah,
Vancouver.
without question.
Vancouver's so rich, they got to have a lot of billionaires.
Mhm.
Apparently, they just moved the space station. They had to move it or something. I didn't read or watch the video
They're
yet.
tearing it
but-
It's
down.
leaking apparently.
Supposed to be
Yeah,
tearing it
they're-
down. Like
I know they're-
SpaceX, I thought was hired to dismantle it within like so many years
They're actually just gonna kind of
or implode
deorbit
it.
it basically, yeah. Over the next, I don't know, 10 years, I want to say. Can't remember exactly.
Yeah, they're built. Apparently, they're building a new space station too.
Well, I hope so. That'd be nice.
Well, they need one to park the Enterprise at.
Yeah, right.
Oh, Scotty.
Ugh. And it figures that the world's richest man would be the guy to build the Enterprise in a society, because in Star Trek they're post money, right? And so it figures that a hyper capitalist guy who basically hoards
Maybe he'll
money
use
like a dragon
Dogecoin.
would be the one that recreates that, completely misunderstanding the point.
And we'll all switch to Dogecoin.
Well, from
Yeah,
what I see,
exactly,
he doesn't really
exactly.
spend much money on himself. He spends it all on just business-related crap. I mean, his house looks like a regular little ranch. There's nothing special about it at all. It's just a regular fucking.
Zuckerberg's
Oh, he's
house is not that special either, but he's got a $300 million yacht. So let's all
But
look
didn't
over here while
Elon
we don't look over
basically
there.
sell all of his properties and real estate and houses and yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there's
The
a
yacht is
point of
nice.
making it a warp drive. If we have an Enterprise
I-
no warp drive, that's freaking lame.
That's it. It's pointless.
It's
Right?
gonna be just
No
floating
artificial
around.
gravity. Everyone's just all floating around in the hallways. Like, come on, it's ridiculous. We need artificial gravity. We want artificial
Yes,
gravity.
artificial gravity. We need to have warp drive. You gotta have all the bells and whistles before you go and build some kind of spaceship like that.
Who knows? It might happen.
Next political campaign. I am George Steinbrenner, and I approve this gravity. What were you saying, Flora?
I said it'd be pretty cool if it all happens. The warp drive and all that.
Oh,
If
as
that
if
happens in our lifetime, that'd be amazing.
it's not going to happen in our lifetime.
Oh my
It'd be nice
goodness.
if it did, but it'd be nice.
It might not be nice.
So we
I
can
don't
get the
know.
fuck out of here. That'd be the best part of it. Shit.
Yeah, interplanetary travel. I mean, that sounds awesome. I mean, I'm not against that.
Yeah. Seriously.
No, never mind.
Have
And
you
the first,
seen the
the
state
first
of this
asshole
shit?
comes back and brings space herpes back from something.
And then
That's it.
And then,
That's
like,
it.
What's the,
We
what,
got
what are all the
space
like?
syphilis. It's
what's
even
all the
worse
flat
than
earth
regular
people?
syphilis. You don't even have to do
Yeah,
shit
we're
to get
really
it.
fucked.
What's all the flat earther people gonna do when we have a Enterprise?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, they'll still be around. Don't worry. People like that, they exist to be different, because like at this point, like you have to be delusional to believe in that kind of theory, right? Like you can literally see satellites orbit, right, all the way around. And at the same time, the next day, or what, a couple times a day, it depends on the satellite, you can see literally the same satellite pass by you over and over and over again. That's proof enough, right? The Apollo landers, there were pictures of the Apollo landers by not only the US, but the Russians, the Chinese, the Indian space force. There were like the English, the Japanese, I want to say, like a bunch of different countries individually saw these landers land on the fucking moon and had pictures of these. Each one of these countries, in many cases, like the Russians were adversaries, the Chinese were adversaries of the US. They would have happily fucking said that we were lying. No, this isn't real. This is Stanley Kubrick bullshitting this in a fucking Santa Ana freaking soundstage, whatever the fuck, right? These are easily disprovable things, both that first of all, that the moon is fake or something and made of cheese, or that the moon landings were fake, or likewise that basically space is fake, or that the earth is not right. Give me a fucking break. These theories I'm a little bit high right now from that dab, but
It's probably
these
more
theories
flat Earth
intertwine
today
as
than
well.
there were like
Pardon?
1600. There's
Say it
probably more
again?
flat earthers today than there were in like 1600.
Oh, 100%. Because back then there wasn't like an internet for them to share their stupid fucking ideas. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Like you can literally, I mean, it would probably cost you a few $1,000s, but you could literally get in a couple of airplanes and circumnavigate the globe in like 24 hours.
Yeah.
You can fly from Seattle to New Zealand, and from New Zealand all the way to fucking London and then over again. It's just idiotic. That's it. That's 100% it. If the earth was flat, cats would have pushed everything the fuck off already. people like that exist to feel that they're special and different and whatever.
Very sure.
And they have a special little community. No, it's idiotic. No, they knew that there's this whole theory that Christopher Columbus was the first guy to think that the Earth was round. No, they knew that the Earth was round back in ancient Greece times.
Oh my
Like
god, yeah.
what was not Epicurus? We could look this up. Carl Sagan had a whole thing on this in his original Cosmos from
It's like
40 years ago.
Galileo. No.
Ancient
70.
Greek who not only did they know it was round, but this guy figured out the circumference. Eratosthenes, that's who he is. In 276 BC, he was an ancient Greek a polymath, basically, which is a mathematician, geographer, poet, astronomer, and music theorist. AKA, he was probably a kid of rich parents. He was a man of learning, becoming the chief librarian at the Library of Alexandria. His work is comparable to what is now known as the study of geography. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. He's best known for being the first person known to calculate the circumference of the Earth, which he did by using the extensive survey results he could access in his role at the library. His calculation was remarkably accurate. His error margin turned out to be less than 1%. He was also the first person to calculate the Earth's axial tilt, the tilt of the Earth's axis, right? Because we're not straight up and down. You guys have seen that. That's why every globe is slightly canted, which similarly proved to have remarkable accuracy. Anyway, that was 2,300 years ago.
Yeah.
Without iPhones, without what else? GPS, without certainly without TikTok. That's for sure.
Just
I don't know how you did it with
mathematics.
TikTok. That's it. And
Just the mathematics
D,
and
that
smarts.
was your cue to say, and D's nuts. That was Well, as we wrap up here, we actually managed to have a decent show, guys. What are your any new things going on in the garden? I know Bud got some new clones, but those are still babies, so it's probably too early to hear from those. Flora, anything new in your garden, or what's going on?
Yeah, I'm just running tester stuff of stuff I made previously and seeing how it turns out for me, because it's always good to test your own stuff. I mean, a lot of people out there growing these same strains, but I like growing my own stuff too. So yeah, just that's all. Not too much going on.
It's cool though.
There's some new stuff over at Genetic Supply. Of course, he's always having like awesome sales, but yeah, other than that, I don't know. Nothing else going on. Same old, same old.
What are you most excited about in your testers?
I like the grape. Well, I did. Yeah. It's like there's some grape notes. I don't want to name the strains because none of these have been released yet. So it's like I don't want to talk a lot about them, but let's get superstitious. But bunch of grape notes. I've been doing lots of some grape stuff.
Grapes are fun. Grapes.
No, it's cool. It's surprisingly old school somehow, right? Like somehow grape kind of went away for 5 or 10 years. Not 10, but maybe 5 years.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to chasing this, like trying to get that Welch's grape flavor is what I'm trying to go for, and like kind of got similar to that, but it's like haven't quite nailed that one yet, and that's what I'm trying to nail. It's like, yeah, it's just certain combinations that you can kind of get that and kind of not, and it's a hard one to nail down, and I'm trying to make something that's similar to that. That's soda, like soda grape.
Oh, that's cool.
Hang on.
I know there's a grape soda out there, but that's too easy, right? Just get somebody else's
Does
thing.
it have that kind of fizziness?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like fizzy flavor.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Problem is right now, the one I have right now, still has some gassy on like notes to it, and like that's not what I'm looking for right now. Like I've done so much work with so many strains, like creating this gas profile, with these Kims and OGs, and I don't know. I just get burned out on certain flavors, and I wanna try different shit.
You're right that I think I don't know if this is exactly what you were saying, but I'm jumping off that I think that you're right that kind of fizziness is a little bit related to those gassy terpenes, and I've never had a chance to test the fizzy profiled phenotypes that I've come across. I remember first learning about the fizzy whatever kind of characteristics rather of weed from Mean Gene talking about it on some podcast on YouTube or something before even that I had grown anything of his, I think. And then essentially I found some of the sort of fizziness in a couple things maybe after that, or maybe I'd grown something before that and knew what he was talking about and then basically grew it again. I definitely found some in these Tree of Life crosses from this friend of mine, Cannabisian, here locally. They're Trainwreck crosses, basically. They're sort of Trainwreck BXs, basically. And they had this
Yes.
pronounced fizziness. So, for example, I had this really lovely champagne phenotype that I pulled out that really had like a champagne fizziness, basically, like kind of bubbles up your nose, basically. And a friend of mine, what's his name, Dr. Scrambles, I want to say, that sometimes says hello in the chat. He actually pulled out a better phenotype, and it wasn't even pineapple. It was like, oh shit, I don't remember. It was like it was more like a champagne-y kind of bright lemony. Oh, I don't remember exactly, but anyway, it was a lot more
Pretty
kind of
good.
champagne. It was super good, and it was decidedly more fizzy. What was I going to say? Like literally like a soda fizz, basically up your nose. It was a really new, interesting
Yeah, the
effect that
burn.
isn't that common. Yeah, I really like it. Like you say, it's. I think in extreme cases, it's kind of that menthol burn or something, like Vicks Vapor Rub, kind of that burn.
Mhm.
Um. Anyway, yeah, I'm curious. North Star, do you know what we're talking about? Do you have that kind of? Have you
Yeah,
encountered
like the
that?
horse effect, kind of. You get the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
sinus.
Yeah,
It's
I've
like a
called it horse radish
sinus
too
effect, kind
sometimes.
of
Yeah.
like a sinus thing. Yeah,
Huh.
for sure. Um,
Horse trash. That's another way of putting it.
Hmm.
I come across that definitely. That's definitely. I think it's related to the gassy stuff. You get that notes a lot. I even had one of the Frisco, not Frisco G, the Frisco Snaps cuts I had for a while that I was running that I actually labeled it the wasabi cut. It had that real
Mm.
effervescent sinus kind of tingle every time you smoked it, no matter what. It was like,
Mm.
oof, make your eyes, water up a little bit almost.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I definitely know what that is like.
I feel like you get high from those strains,
I
It's
do
like
too.
Yeah.
extra.
Yeah.
I
So
feel like you get really, I get really like squinty eyed and like
yeah,
exactly.
really fucking high. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, we should look into those more in the future here. We'll see how it
I
goes.
wonder if that's actually related to a specific terpene that just hits that way, where
Yep.
it tingles
100%.
the sinuses, is what it is.
Ester, maybe an ester or terpene combination. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out too.
Yeah. I mean, what we should do one of these days. Next time we come across one of these profiles, we should just send it off to testing and see what the
See what's
results
there.
are. That's easy
Yeah.
enough, I guess.
Compare it to whatever the things are that hit the same way in like a horseradish or a wasabi or whatever, and see if there's any similarities between
Absolutely right. Yeah.
kind of chemical
100% right.
compound there.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll start to wrap up, folks. Cheers, Moss, by the way. Moss is saying hello. Tess Nugs is saying he just pressed an ounce of Bruce Banner strawberry pheno. It's like syrup. Nice test.
That should be
Good to
great.
hear it. Bruce Banner's one that has a real nice high, too. Who else in the chat? Jess and Beans in the chat. Salt and Sea Seeds is hanging with us. What did they say the other day? Salt and Sea is drying out, I guess, even faster than before. Something I can't remember. Old School's in the house. Good to see Old School. Hash Slinging Hashers hanging with us. Rory. Good to see everybody. Primore Grows in the house. What's going on, buddy? Well, shoot. Ladies and gerbils, you guys want to start saying your good afternoons or whatever?
Yeah, I'll go first. Have a good rest of the week, everyone, and just keep growing.
Cheers, bud. Good to see you, buddy. Who's up next?
I'll take
Go for
off.
Flora.
All right,
for it,
you guys
bud.
have a good one. Maybe I'll see you guys Saturday. I don't know. Depends.
Well.
You guys have like these early shows ending really fast before I can get home.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Also try Flora, try D's channel, D zombie underscore 745. He might do the takeover this Saturday. We'll see.
All right. All right. You guys take care.
Cheers, buddy. Good to see
Take it
you.
easy.
Take it easy.
Go for it, North Star.
Oh shit! Well, thanks for having me on. I got my November promos updated for the Genetic Supply site. Every order is getting a 10-pack of Jack Skellington, Killer Queen times Jack. Jump on that. We got several new strains from Flora in South Bay Genetics, the Grape Lotto, Williams Delight, and Rose Lotto OG. All sound delightful. I've got some lineage stuff I'm updating on his site, on his strains there, so you can check that out too. I just got refilled from Gooey Breeder. Haven't been restocked in a while. I've got Black Raptor times Pinkleberry, Black Raptor times Pinkleberry, Old Mendo Haze times Pinkleberry, and Dark Desire times Old 70s Indica. So that should be some fun stuff there. Yeah, I mean, whole month I got some menus that are actually a lot of my menus that from 2019 they're being retired. A bunch of them to end of this year. So from here to end the year out, they're actually all going to be half price. So check them out. A bunch of them like the Dark Wood, the White Satin, Purple Urkel Back Cross, Jesus OG menu, and several others all on there. Scoop some up before they're off the site.
Sweet.
Yeah. Kicking off the end of the year here with a bang. So hope everyone, yeah, have a great rest of your week.
Yeah, man. Good to see you.
Later.
Go for it, D. Oh, you're muted.
And that was muted. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks Jimmy for putting this on like always. Thanks for everyone that came and hung out with us. Ended up being an actual not too bad show. Pretty dope. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Don't forget to stay tuned. We'll figure out what's going on Saturday. Don't forget, like Humidor said earlier, add me on Instagram. I mean, YouTube. D_zombie _. I can talk right. 745. See everybody Saturday, one way or the other. That's what she said.
So ladies and gentlemen, please do subscribe to D. That would be very helpful. We might start doing the takeovers on his channel instead. We might honestly do the Tuesday show on his channel as well. I am undecided, honestly, as to the future of my whole cannabis stuff and so on. I've said before, I don't really want to have to look over my shoulder. I don't want to have to filter myself. And that means that I'm probably just going to have to shut my fucking mouth, honestly. Kind of unfortunate. What can I tell you? But that just is, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm also trying to figure out what to do just in life in general. I was saying I was going to buy a house today, so don't know if I'm going to do that today. I don't know if I'm going to do that in general. I just don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. I could actually just fucking take an airplane and go, but I don't know. Trying to decide what to do. Yeah. So that'll definitely decide what the future of my whole growing and stuff is. So we'll see how it goes. Whatever. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us. And if these shows do go away, thanks very much for joining us for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or something. I don't know. It's been maybe almost 5 years, something like that. So we had a decent run. A huge amount of trolls, a gigantic amount of trolls. Literally, probably it's probably all the same 5 people, to be perfectly honest, but 30, 40 different people. Different names rather over the last 3-4 years. I guess that's not that many, to be honest. Maybe 10 a year or something. So I guess it's not that many. All right, that brings it into perspective. Still surprising the amount of trolls for the smallness of the channel, but anyway, whatever. So we'll see how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I know better than to ask you guys for questions, comments, and concerns. They never come in anyway. So I guess thanks very much for watching. Be kind, be decent, be gentle, be fucking pricks, dicks, or loons. Actually, you know what? Do whatever you want. This is the age of fucking Trump now. He's gonna be king. So I guess do whatever you want. That's just the way of the future now. So we'll see you when we see you. Adios. Just do whatever the fuck you want now. I will just say that from now on, D. Instead of saying buff something wonderful and whatever else, we'll just say just do whatever the fuck you want because shit, nobody cares. Like
Like, good, I might show my ass on cam. On cam
seriously, like show your dick now. Like it doesn't fucking matter anymore. Like it just it's fine. It's fine, man. It doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah, just whip it out. Fucking